is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're having a great day. In today's video, I want to discuss about selling cards in and not just Pokemon. You know, there are other card games out there. I'm sure everyone's heard of Magic the Gathering before. You've got Yu-Gi-Oh, you've got Riftbound getting popular, One Piece. You have all these different games, and it's easy to focus on Pokemon right now because of how absolutely nutty it has been, currently is, and probably will be for the foreseeable future. But if you haven't thought about moving on to greener pastures and incorporating other product lines into your business or side hustle, it's probably a smart idea to do so. And we're going to talk about a couple of those reasons today. But before we get to that, if you have not been here before, my name is Bronzgod and I sell trading cards mainly on Tcgplayer, soon to be a nice even split between Tcgplayer and eBay. Mostly selling bulk, averaging about $40,000 a year in sales. So Pokemon is obviously nutty right now. It has been nutty, it currently is nutty, and probably will be nutty for the foreseeable future. It's not going to always be like that. Just about 2 years ago, yeah, I'd say about 2 years ago, Surging Sparks came out, and that was the beginning of this unsustainable rise in demand. And it's on easy mode right now. There's a lot of people out there that don't know what it was like 2-3 years ago when everything was in the tank and you couldn't sell basically anything. I mean, everyone's heard the same song and dance. Booster boxes were at $90, $80. ETBs, I mean, geez, Silver Tempest ETBs were at like $30 at some point. It was so low because nobody wanted it, and now that everybody wants it, it's really easy to get those sales. However, there will be a point in time, whether it's in a year or 5 years, where that won't be the case, and it won't be free tendies every day, and it's going to be beneficial to have other sources of income. Now, I always stress in bulk, obviously bulk is the least resistance to entering the hobby, the most risk-free, and it's something that you should try to do, but you can do it in other games, mainly Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a player's game. That game is played, has so many different formats, so many different sets and cards that are used for almost 30 years now. Yes, Pokemon has been out for a long time, but it's a different type of game than Magic. There are so many cards that are playable that it is very beneficial to get into selling Magic alongside your Pokemon business. Bulk, you can usually get it for a little cheaper right now. I mean, you can still probably get it for $5 to $10 per thousand, and you can have some success with it. You know, it's if you're just starting off, yeah, you may want to just focus on one lane, but it's very beneficial to have multiple different things in your store. I mean, think about it this way. If you're in a grocery store and you say, hey, let's go to the grocery store, we gotta get some food, and all they had was eggs, you're probably not going to go there unless you really like eggs. If you really like eggs, that's fine. But when you go to the grocery store, there's a plethora of things to shop from. Maybe you haven't tried a certain brand of this and you're going to give it a shot. That's kind of why you have to have a very flourishing store with many different games, many different options. Obviously, take your time. I mean, you don't want to go head first into a game you don't know anything about, but a lot of people will use their lack of knowledge of a game as a reason to not try to sell it. Not only that, but it can be kind of gatekeepy where, oh, you know, if you don't play the game, so you know, you're just in it for the money. I mean, it's partially true, but in the same sense, when you're selling cards, you're not just selling one game. You're trying to sell everything. So, like, for example, I've had some Yu-Gi-Oh sitting in the background for quite a while, and I've just been sitting on it because I don't know anything about it, and I was a little nervous to jump into it, but I have a buddy who's going to be mailing me a couple binders they found, and they just don't want anything to do with it. They're just giving it to me, and if I'm able to make any money off of it, I'll just throw him something on the back end. So I'll be learning a lot about sets, what's playable, different kinds of foiling, and I did that with Pokemon. I remember when I first started selling Pokemon, I didn't know some of the older reverses were actually hollows, and the hollows were actually the reverses, and the difference between the, miscellaneous products and the Cosmos hollows. Those are all just things you learn over time, and you should not use that as a reason to not jump into other games that you're not familiar with. It's a very, 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 very beneficial, and I really strongly suggest that you do so. Not only that, but if, let's say you go and try to buy a collection like this, let's say you're getting into Yu-Gi-Oh! You find a nice lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! You've never done anything with it before, and you go and find a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, you meet up. You never know. Some of these people might have Magic and Pokemon on the side. I mean, there's so many different avenues that you can go down that the more and more and more different things you get into selling, the more and more opportunities open up for you. I don't know, the grading side of things for Magic and Yu-Gi-Oh! Aren't the same as Pokemon, although people do buy certain cards graded. But ultimately, if you don't give it a shot, you're never going to find out if it works for you or not. And you can always just sell to someone else. I mean, I've said it a million times. If you buy a bunch of Magic bulk, don't get around to it, can't figure out how to sell it, you can sift through it, sell the rest to someone else. I mean, bulk is so easy to move that it's just risk-free. And I wanted to talk about that because I've been talking about this mass box opening I've been going to be doing here in a couple weeks or a couple days. If UPS ever gets their, S in line, I've had them 4 days in a row now. They've either missed my apartment or missed the post office, and I'm getting a little frustrated because it's a lot of money. It's like $1,600 to $1,700 I spent on this stuff, and the value of it's not going to go down anytime soon, so I'm not worried about it, but I'm just anxious to get into it so I can break it down and get things rolling, churn and burn. But it's easier to do with Magic than it is other games. Now, with the Magic side of things, you can do stuff like this, where you can do box openings and use platforms like Mox Alpha to figure out the value of a certain product and see if it's worth breaking down and selling the singles. Other games, you can't do that. Pokemon, you can't really do that. It's all or nothing, and most of the time it's nothing. So I would never ever recommend doing that. But it's just depending on the game. There's so many different options of how you can tackle selling the singles that are going to be very beneficial for you and whatever store you decide to run. Another reason giving another game a shot right now is the availability of Pokemon. I mean, I don't know about you, but around me, bulk rates are starting to get up there. They were around $20 per thousand for regular. Now I've seen some lists for $25 per thousand. I'm starting to see people even go $30 per thousand to beat out the other guys. Money can be made on that, but it's just starting between sealed product, the price of bulk is starting to get to levels where it might be beneficial for you to check one of these other games out. I think across the board, cardboard right now is just at an all-time high. So no matter what game you get into, there's probably going to be some resistance. But keeping an open mind and an open options as to how to go about growing your business and what to sell is going to ultimately be a positive for what you try to set out for. So obviously there's plenty of YouTube videos out there of many creators that do things online and sell cards. So if you're ever curious about a game that you're not into, obviously just Google whatever game, find a bunch of videos and watch those. Ask me, ask other people. Knowledge is never something that you should be worrying about in this day and age when getting into something new, like another game that you've not sold before. In the peak of the internet era, there's just too much information out there that no or saying I don't want to is not a good solution in my opinion. Being in this hobby, this business, you have to be very open-minded. You have to be willing to bob and weave throughout all the hurdles that are being thrown your way. And right now we're in a big one with the availability of Pokemon. So going forward, obviously Pokemon's still going to be one of our main focuses, but we are going to be showing more of the Magic the Gathering side of things. We are going to be showing some of the Yu-Gi-Oh side of things, maybe even some One Piece, and who knows? It just kind of depends on what opportunities come my way. And then, if we lose a little bit of money in doing something, that's perfectly fine, because I think anyone knows in this business, it's all about risk. You want to take an appropriate risk, a well-educated risk. You don't have to just throw $1,000 at the wall just for the sake of doing it, knowing that you're going to lose half of it. You can be a little smart about it. But ultimately you can take a very smart, educated guess at something you don't know about and still come out on top. But yeah, that was about it for today. I was just thinking about this magic shipment that has not come yet that I'm dying to get my hands on. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. Hope you guys have a great day and talk to you soon.